Hello everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. In this video, we will look at the question interval list intersections. Okay, so to understand this question, let's take the sample input. Okay, let's take this example. Yeah. Okay, so let's write the list 1 and list 2. Right, we are given some list and we are given some intervals on those lists, right? And the intervals are on the basis of the starting point and the ending point. So what do we have? Let's see my list one has some intervals from 1 to 3, right? So my first interval is from 1 to 3. My second interval is from 5 to 10, from 5 to 10, right? Third interval is from 12 to 17, right? Similarly, in my list 2, I have my first interval from 2 to 4, right? My second interval from 5 to 7, and my third interval from 9 to 13, right? Okay, so what do we have to do in this question? This is my intervals, right? So it is from 1 to 3, right? This is from 2 to 4, this is from 5 to 10, right? This is from 12 to 17, this is from 5 to 7, this is from 9 to 13. Okay, so we have to find all the intersection intervals, right? All the intervals which are intersecting. So if I were to say these are going to be my intersecting intervals, right? The interval from 2 to 3 is going to be my intersecting interval, this interval, right? For here, I will say that this interval is my intersecting interval, right? This interval is my intersecting interval. Here, this interval is my intersecting interval. Here, this interval is my intersecting interval, right? So these are my 4 intersecting intervals in these case. And here, my answer is going to be from 2 to 3, from 5 to 7, from 9 to 10, from 12 to 13. Okay, so this is what I have to return in a list. I have to return all these starting points and ending points of the intersecting intervals in a list. Okay, in a form of list. So I hope you understand the question at least, like what do we have to find? Okay, now how we are going to solve this question. But before looking at how we are going to solve this question, let's look at the different cases which can be built up. Okay, the different cases can be that we will have list 1 and list 2, where we will have a list 1, right? We can have a list 1 like this and a list 2 like this, right? A list 2 like this. Now this is a case where my list 1 or it is the intersection list will start from my list 2, right? So if this was a case, let's say this is 2 and this is 6, this is 3 and this is 8, right? This is a valid interval. So here my interval will last from the intersection interval will be from, it will be from 3 to 6, right? The intersection interval will be from 3 to 6. Now how can I say that it is from 3 to 6, right? Let's find that in the next couple of minutes. Okay, so this is my first case. I can also have a case where list 1 and list 2 like this, right? The list 1 can be like this and the list 2 can be like this, right? We can have a case like this as well. For this case, let's take the example. This is 2 to 7, this is 4 to 8, right? We have this example. For this example, this will be my intersecting list from 4 to 7, right? This, so I will write 4 to 7. Now I can also have a case where none of them are intersecting, right? So list 1, list 2. So this is a case where we have a list 1 like this and list 2 like this, right? This is from, let's say 1 to 5, this is from 6 to 11, right? So here I don't have anything, I don't have an answer. Now how am I actually finding the starting point and the ending point of my intersection list. Okay, so let's see. Let's remove this. Okay, so my starting point, or let's say CSP, right? Current starting point or common starting point. Let's use CSP, right? This is my common starting point and common ending point. What will be my common starting point? My common starting point will be the maximum of the two, right? The maximum of the two starting points. Okay, so the two starting points. Here, the maximum of the two starting points is 3, right? Here, I will have the minimum of the two ending points. Okay, ending point 1, ending point 2. So the minimum of the two ending points here is 6 and 8, right? So 6 is my minimum ending point. So my interval will last from 3 to 6. First, I have to check that 3 should be less than 6. If 3 is less than 6, then only I can say that my interval will last from 3 to 6. Okay, so this is my first interval. Here, let's find out my CSP is going to be again the maximum of my two starting points. So the maximum of my two starting points is 4, right? So 4 will be my answer. And from my common ending point, right? I should write CEP here, not CSE. CEP, common ending point. That will be common ending point will be the minimum of the two, which is 7 in this case, right? So my interval will last from 4 to 7, right? For this case, my common starting point will be the maximum of the two, which is 6, and the common ending point will be the minimum of the two, and the minimum of the two is 5, right? So the minimum of the two ending point is 5, and the maximum of the two starting point is 6. But 6 is not less than 5, right? 6 is not less than 5. Since 6 is not less than 5, it means that this is not a valid case. This is not a valid case, right? So I will not print anything here. Okay, so this is going to be my approach, that I will find the maximum and the minimum. On the basis of that, I'm going to check if it is valid or not. How am I checking it is valid? I will first take the minimum of the two, right? I will first take the maximum of the two of as my starting point, and the minimum of the two as my ending point, and I will check that if my common starting point is less than my common ending point. If it is, then it is going to be a valid answer. Okay, so in this question, let's try to understand how we will do that as my answer, right? How we are going to solve this question. So we are given some list, right? So let's make some list like this. We are going to use a two-pointer approach. Okay, so we have this, and we are given some list. We have one from 1 to 3, right? This is from 5. Let's write the first only, 1 to 3, 5 to 10, right? 12 to 17. Second from 2 to 4, 5 to 7, and 9 to 13, right? This is my list 1. This is my list 2, right? And I have to print my answer list. Let's make an answer list here, or let's make an answer list here, right? And we will set our two pointers on list 1 and list 2, right? Now they're both pointing at the first indexes, right? Or the zeroth indexes. So my answer array, or this answer list, will contain my answer, right? So now let's see. Now we have these pointers, and we will check the minimum of the, let's first find the common starting point, right? And the common starting point will the maximum of the two, right? So the maximum of the two is 2 here, right? And the minimum of the two, the maximum of 1 comma 2, right? And CEP will be the minimum of, this is maximum, right? This is minimum of 3 comma 4, right? So the maximum is 2, the minimum is 3, right? 2 is less than 3, so this is a valid answer. I'll put that in my answer, right? This is my answer list. I'll put that in my answer. Now I'll remove this. Okay, So we will see that my common ending point, right, or the ending point of this list, this L1, the common ending point of this list is smaller than this list, right? Or let's say that the ending point of this list is smaller than the in this list, then it means that this list has been completely exhausted, right? This list has been completely exhausted and this hasn't been. So first we will check, we will for this pointer we will increase this pointer before, right? We will increase this pointer before this pointer because this list has been completely exhausted. And how we know that this list has been completely exhausted? Because this 3 value or this ending point is smaller than my this ending point, right? It means that this list is still active, it still has some left, some value left, right? So we will move here. Now we will check that if we have some common point between these two lists, right? So the common starting point will be the maximum of the first two numbers, which is 5 and 2, right? This will be 5. The minimum of the last two numbers, which is 4 and 10, this is 4, right? 5 is not greater than 4, so it does not make a valid list, right? So I'll move the pointer of the list which has the minimum ending point, right? So the minimum ending point is 4 here, and it means that this list has been completely exhausted, so I'll move this pointer here, right? Now I have 5, 10, and 5, 7. The maximum of the two, maximum of 5 and 5 is 5, right? And the minimum of the two is 7, right? 7 comma 10, it is 7, right? So I'll the new this is my correct answer because 5 is less than 7, so I'll add 5 comma 7 in my answer, right? Then this 7 is smaller than this 10, right? It means that this 7 has been completely exhausted, this list has been completely exhausted, so I'll move this pointer here. Okay, now we again check the maximum here will be between 5 and 9, and it is 9. Minimum here is between 10 and 13, it is 10, right? So my answer will be 9 comma 10, right? This is a valid answer, so I'll put 9 comma 10 in my answer, right? Okay, so next, uh now we move here because we move this pointer because 10 is smaller than 13, so this list has been completely exhausted, so I'll move this pointer. Okay, now we check for these two numbers. My max here will be between the first two numbers, right? So between 12 and 9, the maximum here is 12. The minimum between two numbers, the minimum between two ending points, which is 13, right? 13 and 17, which is 13. So my answer is going to be 12 comma 13, right? So this will be my answer. Now after this, after one list has been completely traversed, it means that I cannot find any more intersections, so I've got my answer. Right, now let's check this answer as if we have got the right answer or not. Okay, so the list is from 2 to 3. Okay, so from 2 to 3, if we draw from 2 to 3, we are getting the right answer, you can see. Okay, next is from 5 to 7, so 5 to 7, this is the right answer. From 9 to 10, from 9 to 10, right? And from 12 to 13, so from 12 to 13. Okay, this is the right answer. So I hope you understand this approach. Now let's try to code this question. Okay, so let's code this. Okay, so the first thing we need is an array list of array, right? This is my answer. So new array list, right? Now I need two pointers, so int I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0. Okay, while I is less than interval list 1 dot length, right? And j is less than interval list 2 dot length, right? When this is true, when both of them are in my list, then I will find my CSP, right? Common starting point. This will be mat dot max of interval list 1 right? I comma 0, right? And interval list to j comma 0, right? So interval list to j comma 0, right? Similarly, I will have a common ending point, and that will be mat.min of interval list 1 I comma 1, right? And interval list 2 j comma 1, right? Now we have found the common starting point and common ending point, and if the common starting point is less than equals to common ending point, if this is the case, then I will make an answer or temporary answer. This is common starting point and common ending point, right? And I'll add this to my answer dot add temporary. Okay, so I've added this answer. Now if interval list 1 I comma 1, right, is smaller than, so I'm comparing the ending digits, right? So if the interval list 1 is smaller than interval list 2 j comma 1, right, if this is true, then I plus plus, I'll increase the first pointer. That means that I've exhausted the first interval. Else it means that I've exhausted the second interval, so I'll increase the second pointer, right? And after that, I need to return an integer of array, right? I have to return a array of array. So return answer dot to array, and this will contain new int answer dot size, right? And an array. So this is my code. It's a very small code. Let's run this. It's giving me an error. Let's see. Okay, I've written CED here. It is actually CEP. Let's run this code. It is successful. Let's submit this. It has passed all the test cases. So I hope you understand this question. If you don't, I would suggest rewatch the part which you don't understand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.